Today on DIY Sci, it's raining candy. Candy isn't just a sweet treat to eat. With candy, you can also do some crazy science. Drop them in. Oh my gosh, look at this. Like candy? You'll love candy science. Experiments you can do at home or your favorite candy store. Today on DIY Sci.
I'm Steve Spangler, and I love blowing stuff up with the power of science. I'm gonna show you how you can do it yourself.
Bam!
You can harness the power of science in your own home with DIY Sci.
You know me, I've got a sweet tooth for science. That's why we're at the coolest candy store in the world, Rocket Fizz in Highlands Ranch, Colorado.
I've never seen as many varieties of delicious and hard-to-find candies as they have at Rocket Fizz.
We're looking at different things that you can do with even classic candy like M&Ms. This candy became so popular in the 1950s that the Mars Candy Company decided to stamp each one with a little letter M. It confused a lot of people because then they thought it was the letter W, or the number 3, or the letter E. But I digress. The letter M is exactly what we are focused on for today's little experiment. Here's what you want to do. We're gonna take a bowl like this, and we're gonna arrange some M&Ms in the bottom so that all the little letter M's are pointing up. Got it? Now, we're gonna add some room temperature water, just slowly, because you don't want them to spin around. Now, as you can imagine, M&Ms are mostly soluble in water. But there is a part of the M&M that is not soluble in water, and that is that waxy, translucent coating on the very top that has the letter M. That's where we're gonna see if we can lift the letter M and cause it to float to the top. Now, there's not much you have to do other than just to watch it very carefully work its way. Dissolve the candy until that little wax coating breaks free and the letter M pops to the top. There's one in the end here that's starting to, oh my gosh, it's intact. Look at this, here they come. You could sit around and wait for the entire bowl to come up. Or you could read Crime and Punishment. You could take up welding, walk the dog, get a fish, clean your house, or you could check out other seasons of DIY Sci. Great idea.
See these ugly-looking things? They're sugar snakes. And I'm gonna show you how to make them come alive.
When you're toasting marshmallows, sometimes if you leave them in just a little too long, yeah, that's right, you get burnt marshmallows. It's that burnt sugar. Some people don't like that, but that's exactly what we're gonna need for this experiment right here to make some sugar snakes. All right, the whole thing is gonna happen in this pan, and in the pan you can see that we have just regular playground sand. Now we made a little divot in the playground sand, and to that we're going to add some charcoal fluid. Really, we want a lot in there all the way around. Looks good. All right, so now we're going to make our sugar mixture. And the sugar, the powdered sugar, is gonna mix with something that will cause this sugar snake to grow. We start with a cup of powdered sugar. So there's our powdered sugar. And to that, we're going to add just a 1/4 cup of baking soda. Bingo. All right, mix this whole thing together. Now, the baking soda is great because when we start to cook this, we're gonna cook the water out of the powdered sugar. It's enough just to mix with the baking soda. That carbon dioxide gets released, hopefully gets trapped inside, and hopefully, it'll cause our sugar snake to grow. All right, so this goes right here in the middle, a little divot here. Looking good. All right, let's light it and let it start to work. All right, looking good. Take a look at this. Look at these, they're like little monsters that start to grow here on the side. They just get hot enough. Oh, look at that, and the carbon dioxide begins to expand, and the sugar snake starts to grow. It can only be done with adult supervision. Look, a little chemistry, and you've made sugar snakes.
Coming up on DIY Sci, these look like cute little gummy bears, but watch what happens when you set them on fire.
Out of here.
Plus, unleash the power in a bottle of soda, but watch who you do it with. There's more DIY Sci after this.
I'm Steve Spangler. Welcome back to DIY Sci, where we're at Rocket Fizz in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, this amazing candy store. We're experimenting with candy, which means, Higgins, you must have another test subject.
These gummy bears, Steve.
Bingo. Let's figure out the amount of energy that's in candy. You eat candy and you get the sugar rush. Well, is there really energy in that candy? Answer is yes. We just have to find a clever way to kind of pull it out. So you can kind of see the setup here. It looks a little dangerous. You got your safety glasses? Safety glasses, good. Take a look at this. Inside the flask here is a powder. It's called potassium chlorate. Potassium chlorate is a strong oxidizer. We're gonna use this camping stove to heat it up and to turn the powder into a liquid. Once that strong oxidizer becomes a liquid, we'll take some of the poor gummy bears and put them down inside and see if we can release some of that energy. All right, we just have to let this cook. It's starting. Need I say, don't try this at home. Leave this one for that cool chemistry teacher at school. All right, Higgins, it looks like our powder has become almost a liquid. So, in order to make fire, you need to have three things. You need to have heat, well, we have that. You need to have oxygen, well, it's a strong oxidizer. And you need fuel, we need sugar. And the poor little gummy bears are gonna be the fuel. So, let's see if I can get this whole thing ready. All right, I'm gonna remove the fire here like this. Excellent. All right, Higgins, are you ready?
Ready.
All right, here's our gummy bears. 3, 2, 1, drop them in. Oh my gosh, look at this. Higgins, it looks great. The gummy bears are perfect fuel. It's almost like a jet engine. Oh my gosh. Smell that. It almost smells like burning sugar. And the sound of fire truck.
I'm
Out of here.
You know what's great about marshmallows?
What?
They're like little pockets of air in your mouth.
My son, Scott. Pretty smart. Yes, Scotty. Why are you here?
I work here.
That's why he's here. They are like little pockets of air in your mouth. And you know what happens? You remember when you and your brothers would take marshmallows and put them in the microwave?
Yes, I remember they expanded and it made like a mess.
Yeah, we remember that. So they're pockets of air if they're fresh, and when they get hot, the hot air expands and it causes the marshmallows to get kind of big. We want to torture marshmallows, but we don't want to use heat to be able to do that. We want to be able to use air pressure. Fair enough?
Got it.
So take a look at this. Here's a little device that you can find sometimes at the grocery store or the department store. It's to go into a bottle and it pressurizes it. So, you know, when you open a bottle of soda and it starts to go flat, well, this helps keep the pressure in. Listen. See, it pushes air inside. So here's what I did. We took marshmallows, fresh marshmallows, and put those in here, and mine are here like this. And now, yeah, perfect. So here's what you need to do. You just pump air inside, and you keep on pumping air inside. Keep on doing this over and over and over, and if you feel the bottle, it becomes a little, yeah, you can feel the air inside a little bit firmer. Here's the problem, is this takes about 47 minutes.
Is there any way to speed this along?
It's my show. Is there any way to speed this along, I wonder? There is. I'm so glad that you thought of it. That's where a bike pump comes in. So here's the bike pump. You're gonna be in charge of that.
All right.
And a little bit bigger bottle, and here's our marshmallows. Fair enough? So to the end of this, I'm going to add this little stopper. So here's a stopper that goes in like this. So I'm gonna hold it here like this. You are gonna continue to add air. Every time you pump, a little bit more air will go in. Go ahead and push down. Oh, look at this, look at the marshmallows, look. Yes, you're torturing these poor little marshmallows. Look, they're becoming like raisins. You're squeezing them down, smaller and smaller and smaller. okay? Are you ready? This is good. Watch the incredible growing marshmallow trick. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All you had to do was to increase the pressure on the outside and you can cause the marshmallow to shrink. But what if we did the opposite? Look at what we have over here, a food sealer. Now what's great about this is it takes the air out around the food. So you put whatever food you want to in here, this on top, then you pull the air out. It's supposed to preserve it. So why don't you grab some marshmallows, hit those white ones there. There you go, do about half in there. Looking good. Oh yeah, good, that's perfect. All right, here we go. So now, let's see what happens if this is on top.
Yeah.
All right, so this goes here. Do not tell your mom that I borrowed this.
Ah.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. This now pulls the air out. Watch. Look at this. Look at that. They start to get bigger. That's great. Fantastic. You know what's so great about this? You can buy the small ones and take them home and pretend like they're the large ones. You save money. Now watch what happens when we put the air back in. Let's let the air in. 3, 2, 1. Aww, look at that. They're kind of like they're old and wrinkled. You know, we should torture. It's been sad that we've been torturing these guys. What should we torture?
Peeps.
Done. All right, grab Peeps. Peeps are just glorified marshmallows, right? And so put these little guys in. Oh yeah, a little family of Peeps. There we go. Margaret, Timmy, Mary, Bob. All right, look at this. It is Peep time. Here we go. All right, Scott. Come on down, look at this. Let's see. Oh, look at this. It's so hard to see the kids grow up, isn't it?
Yeah.
So bad. There it is. I'll let you do the honors, Scott. 3, 2, 1. Oh, poor little Peeps. Please know that no Peeps were actually harmed in the filming of this episode. Say we'll be right back, Scotty.
We'll be right back.
We will.
After this break, you'll find out the secret hidden in every Skittle and Gobstopper. Plus, the absolute worst way to open a bottle of soda. All still to come on DIY Side.
Welcome back to DIY Sci. I'm Steve Spangler. We are at Rocket Fizz in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, home of all kinds of candy. Just the kind of candy you need to do your own experiments at home. Sometimes the candy you like the most melts in your hand. Reason why is because the dye that they use there is water soluble and the sweat on your hands, well, it just kind of picks it up. It might be a nuisance, but it's exactly what we need for this really colorful little experiment. We're gonna compare the difference between Skittles and another favorite, Gobstoppers. All right, here's what you need to do. On the plate, look at this. It'll take a little bit of time, but I just want you to lay out, for example, the Skittles all the way around in a nice little circle here. We're gonna do the same thing with the Gobstoppers. These are a little bit more difficult because they're gonna wanna roll everywhere. Oh, like that little guy right there. Stay there. Just make this little circle all the way around. Looking good. No one sneeze. No one sneeze. I think it's great. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're now going to pour water into each one of these. Now remember, the coloring will dissolve in the water. So just slowly add the water. We want the colors to begin to dissolve, like what we're seeing so far. Same thing happens with our Skittles over here as well. So now the coloring will start to dissolve, and the best thing to do is just sit back and enjoy the show. Watch this as the color begins to fade into the very middle here. Less concentration of sugar, all the sugar going towards the middle, until finally the colors connect. It's beautiful. Look at the final little eyeballs that are left all the way around here. True meaning of eye candy. Wrote that one myself. We've been focused on candy for our experiments, but believe it or not, here at Rocket Fizz, there's over 500 different varieties of soda.
But what all these sodas have in common is water, sugar, and carbonation. See those bubbles? Those are bubbles of carbon dioxide. Now that's the gas that makes soda fizzy.
Anything that you put down inside the soda will help release the carbon dioxide. So we're gonna try some things like this. Here's some raisins, for example. So little raisins will go down inside. Try to get them separated. So you want individual raisins and drop those down inside. That's looking good. Let's try some cranberries over here, cranberries here. How about some huge cranberries over here? Good. Take a look at what's going on. As the carbonation grabs onto the little raisins or the little cranberries here, see what happens is they're like water wings. It will pick it up, lift it to the very top, and then as soon as it gets to the top, they'll pop and they'll fall back down again. And they'll keep on going back and forth, dancing inside the glass until the carbonation is completely gone. The best part is just finding different things to put in the soda to cause them to go up and down. And of course, here in the candy store, why not nerds? I think this will work well. All right, here we go. Come on, little nerds. Look at this. It's perfect. Look at this. The carbon dioxide picks them up, sends them to the top, pops. If they pop, it'll fall back down again. It's just a little cascade of candy as it goes up and down, up and down. It's pretty simple. And it's cheaper than buying cable.
Coming up next, add Mentos to soda, and it's one powerful candy. But it gets me in trouble with the boss. Stay there for more DIY science.
We're doing candy science here on DIY Sci. I'm Steve Spangler. You can't have a great day like today in a candy store without a little nod to my favorite candy, Mentos. You know what happens when you drop Mentos into soda? The results are explosive. There's lots of creative ways to drop Mentos into soda. These are two of the toys that I've come up with over the years, but I want to show you how you can make your own with a trip to the hardware store. Gonna get some plastic pipe, and believe it or not, the secret is a magnet. All right, let's start with this. We need to drop the Mentos into the soda. And if you remember the science here, when the Mentos touch the soda, there's little tiny pits on the outside of the Mentos, little craters called nucleation points. All the carbon dioxide gas runs to it. These sit at the bottom since they're heavy, and they shoot the soda out. So we want to be able to control how we drop them in, but I don't want a pin or something. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use a magnet, a very strong magnet, and this ball bearing. So the ball bearing fits in like this and stays in place. So now the Mentos can go on top like this. We'll just load these up. All right, I think that's perfect. We're gonna use this little plastic piece here. It's gonna go in place. And this will go onto the bottle. So here's our bottle, like this. And now this is the scary part. Because you don't want the little ball to fall. All right, stay there, little ball. All right, I think we're set. Now, what if you could use the power of Mentos to serve 6 of your friends' soda all at the same time? In order to do this, trip to the hardware store. Look, we started with this piece here. We're making a manifold. So I just walked down the aisles and found these little T-pieces. And to these connectors goes the PVC. A little bit of paint makes everything look great. We want 6 little spigots for the soda to flow. And here's the last one. All right, we'll make them all nice and straight. Excellent. So the object is the soda shoots up into the pipe and is equally distributed with all 6 of them. All right, so now this is where this guy comes in, and this goes on top like this. And now, look at this. Cups under each one. Hey, Higgins, get in here.
Hey.
3 for you, 3 for me. Party in a bottle. Check this out. Ready? Higgins, drum roll, please. 3, 2, 1, go! Wow. It's for you. This one's for me. Cheers.
Cheers.
Everybody, cheers. Nice job, everyone. You know our producer?
Hey, Mr. Spangler, that is an excellent invention.
You know, we didn't show the original invention. This is the original geyser tube.
Huh.
You just gotta be careful not to pull the trigger.
What trigger? This?
That's the trigger.
DIY guy will be right back. After I dry off.
Oopsie.
Take some of these, and some of these, and some of these.
Well, what did we learn today?
We learned that there's enough energy in candy to fuel a fire.
Look at that.
We learned that pressure can wreak havoc on the shape of a peep. And we learned that the power of carbon dioxide in soda is not necessarily a lesson you want to teach to your boss.
Here's the owner of this amazing store, Rocket Fizz in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, Patrick Evans.
Hi there.
As you can see, Higgins is a big fan.
Aren't we all?
Everybody is a fan. Thank you so much for allowing us to use this fantastic store and turn it into our own personal laboratory.
No problem, Steve.
I'm Steve Spangler. I'll see you next time on DIY Side.
Definitely one of these. Maybe two. Like that. Ooh.
Higgins, I told you 3
These?
pieces. 3.
You told
Can
me
you
I
count
could have as
3?
many as I wanted if I did a good job.
As many as you wanted if it's 3. So pick 3, okay?
I'll put some of these back.
Okay. Put all these back, right? Hey, who's paying for this? Put it, stop! I got kids to go to college.